Hello everyone and welcome back to the HCW YouTube channel and welcome back to another Indie Spotlight, and we are joined by the Skywalker, Nate Reilly. How you doing?
I'm all good, mate. How are we all feeling today?
Yeah, we're doing well. I realised I asked this, like, it's like I don't ask you how you are before we record. I add that everyone, I repeat the question, but it's just so people don't think I'm just being like that.
Yeah,
We are here to discuss a Kamikaze Weekender. So we've got two shows, the main show on Friday, then we've got the Dojo show on Saturday. But before we get into that, which I didn't mention prior to this, do you remember the last time you were on this channel?
yeah. It was about a year ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah, and do you know who you were
Yeah.
fighting?
George Lydon, wasn't
Yeah, George Lydon for the
it?
title. I didn't realise until I looked it up. And I went, okay, so that's nice.
Yeah.
So we'll be getting into that fully later on, but I just thought it was a nice, weird, I didn't plan it at all kind of thing. So we're going to be discussing first, guys, the Limit 9, and then we'll be ringing up Kamikaze Live 44. We're going to do it in one giant header of video because it's a weekender. And
Yep.
for anyone
Yeah.
that's not watched this before, we'll be discussing Nate's matches at the end of each segment because that's the build up and that's what you're going to know more about than anything else. So we're going to kick off with we're going to discuss Charles Crowley versus Zach Walker. So banger of match is going to be. So Zach Walker won the scramble match on the main show. He pinned you, unfortunately. I didn't even link that until I thought about that now.
You
Um,
had to bring it up, didn't
yeah, I didn't even think about it until I said it.
you?
And then we've got Charles Crowley, who's returning since November 2023, which he had a tag team match against the really random team of the Ring Grenleman and JC.
Yep.
And this obviously is a first time ever match because it's bound to be. So, what are your thoughts on
Right.
this?
I'm interested. Like, mainly when I say that, like, I don't know what Zach's going to do against him because I feel like Zach's kind of going to be out of his element on this one.
Hmm.
So I'm interested to see how he'll adapt to it more than anything. Like, because like Charles is so interesting
Yeah.
as a wrestler, as a performer. So Zach, obviously being new, like not necessarily new to this, but he's still just finding his way in the world. Basically, like he's 15 years old, I think, 16, 15,
16, I
16, one
think.
of those.
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
16. He might be 15, actually. That's fair
yeah.
enough.
It's not as if I don't see him like a good 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's just it'll be fun to watch him try and like sort of catch up and create his own sort of moments in that kind of match. Like,
Yeah, it's gonna be an odd one for Zach because Charles Crowley is out there. He's obviously going to be the most experienced in the match, but he's
mm.
you don't know what he's going to bring to the table. Like he'll suddenly have like a strike fest or out wrestle you, or he'll just completely blow your mind. Which I'm probably going to go with the third option.
I'm kind of actually hoping he's going to bring his balloons back because I've not seen his balloons in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while for Charles to bring them
Yeah.
back. That would be nice. But who do you think is going to win? I feel like I know the answer, but it's always good to ask.
Oh, I've got to go, Charles.
Yeah, I
Like,
like. It's hard to say. Like Zach, obviously, he hasn't been picking up many wins. The scramble was a scramble; anything can happen. Whereas on
yeah,
the live shows, he only just started picking up wins, and he lost to himself. So yeah, I'll probably go with Charles just for the experience, but
yeah.
Zach will give him a good showing.
Mhm.
Um,
Wholeheartedly agree.
Next up, we've got a banger match which you'd never expect to see. We've got Chantal Jordan versus Mochisugi Jr.
Yeah,
So, tail of the tape for this. Chantal's last match lost in the scramble, but she is the bank on it holder. And obviously, this is the debut for Mochizuki, who is best known for his time within Dragon Gate, for people that are not aware of that. And he's also currently the, I think it's the 4FW champion, British Kingdom Pro Wrestling. So he's already picked up a
yeah.
title within the UK. So how do you think this one's going to go? Obviously, first time ever.
Like, I'll be honest, I'm not as familiar with Mochizuki Jr. as I should be. Like, I haven't been
Mm,
keeping up with Dragon Gate recently, to be honest with you. Like, which I really should get back on Dragon Gate.
yeah.
Um, uh, but I don't. I just feel like Chantal's got this. Like, there's just something about me. It might just be like because I'm supporting the home promotion and all that, but I just it's just something about Chantel's style, the way she wrestles, that makes it very hard for me to bet against her. Like, especially because to me it's a safe option because I've seen Chantel wrestle so many times. I'm familiar with everything she does, and I'm kind of just like, she has this.
Yeah.
Like, but
Like Mochizuki, I've not seen. Like, I'll be honest, like I'm not like overly familiar with him.
mm,
I've seen a couple of Noah matches with him. But weirdly, Chantel's probably more experienced than him. He's
yeah,
only been wrestling for years.
yeah, he debuted 2022, was it?
Yeah, yeah. So he's had but
Yeah.
loads of matches. He's probably had more matches than Chantel due to that. Like they just wrestle every day in Japan, don't they? Like,
Mm, mm.
but Chantel weirdly is more experienced, which sounds weird when
Yeah.
an import comes in. Um, but I'm probably on the same wavelength for you. Yeah, I think it's Chantel's a different beast, especially when it comes to Kamikaze Pro. And I feel like it's going to
Yeah.
be a great matchup, and they're going to kick the crap out of each other.
I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to because it's
mm,
definitely going to be like just an absolute slugfest. Like no shadow of a doubt, they're going to kick this. Can't swear.
yeah, and I think he's
Yeah.
more like tag team oriented, if I remember as well. So
Mm.
it's going to be a bit of a difference. But yeah, Chantel Jordan, I can't see past in most matches.
Now we're in agreement on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, once again, banger of a match coming up. We move on to Chris Ridgway versus a man you very much know, Edgar Adams. So last time out, Edgar was defeated by Richard Holiday.
Mhm.
And Chris Ridgway, I didn't realise he hadn't been here since 2022, where he
Yeah.
defeated MJ Grayson. And once again, surprisingly, this is a first time match. What are your thoughts on this?
Oof. Right. I remember seeing the announcement and just going like, I think my exact words was, "Oh shit, that'll be a good one." Like, maybe just because wrestling, like, obviously, as you said, me and Edgar know each other
hmm
very, very well. Like, we started together, we trained together, we tag team together. So I'm very familiar with everything he does. He's familiar with everything I do, and I know technical is not the first thing he trains.
Yeah.
Like, which is always it's always the joke we always make to each other. Like, whenever we do like a wrist lock, we're like, "All right, that's it, mate. Best technical wrestler." Like, that's all the tech we need. But so seeing Ridgway get put across the ring from him, seeing him go up against Ridgway is like just one that I'm looking at going, um, you've got no choice now, lad. You better start training. You
Yeah,
better
it's a
start
kind
doing
of
that tech.
kryptonite thing,
Like,
isn't it, for Edgar? You know, if you're going to fight someone like
yeah,
technical as Chris Ridgway.
yeah,
Um, it's a completely different. Like when he fought Richard Holiday's more of a kind of showman. I can slightly out
yeah,
wrestle you, whereas Chris Ridgway's I'm just going to kick the crap out of you for 30 minutes.
yeah.
How's Edgar doing, like injury wise? Because obviously he was pretty banged up when you last saw him in the Kamikaze.
Uh, he's healed. No, mate, he's all good. To be fair, he's been on the recovery spectrum of things. Like he's sorted himself out. Uh, if he is injured, he hasn't told me, but he tells me everything.
Yeah.
So he's all good on that end. Like his ribs were playing up last time, but unless Ridgway like proper went for those ribs, I don't think it's ever going to be an issue on his end.
Yeah, like
No.
Ridgway's not someone that really works the midsection. He's normally like your limbs kind of thing, so you might be right. Who do you think's going to win?
Don't do this to me.
Yeah, hard situation for you.
I'm going with my lad. I'm going with Edgar. Got to go with the
That's
hometown man.
so.
Yeah.
If you weren't friends with Edgar, what about?
Don't do this to me, Aaron.
Yeah, I can't look past Chris Ridgway because he is Chris Ridgway.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's going to overwhelm Edgar. Like if Edgar obviously has got the speed, like the speed is definitely in his. If he can kind of stay on that speed for a lot the whole match, he might have a chance of a roll up. But if Chris Ridgway grinds him down for a little bit, I think it's done. It sounds
I think that's
mental.
the thing because Ridgway's face the best of the best. So there's no
hmm
question on whether or not he can grind down Edgar. Like because he's faced speedy guys, high flyers. He's
Yeah.
facing a lot of that. I've seen Edgar face technical wrestlers, and I've seen him like get away from the tech aspect of things. Like he's not stay grounded,
Mhm.
but I haven't seen him face any technical wrestlers on Ridgeway's level
There's not many,
or
that's
even
why.
tech. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Unless Sabre
Exactly.
Junior
Like,
pops up at some point, that might be a bit different for him.
yeah, that's what I said.
But
So it's just the question: can he deal with a technical wrestler of that caliber?
I feel like in a few years' time he can, but this might be a bit too early for Edgar.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to go Ridgeway just because he's just a machine of a man. Next up after that, we've got a Fighting Female Division Championship match with Lana Austin, the reigning defending champion of Kamikaze, which I
Mhm.
haven't noted down how long she's had that title, but she's had it for like my lifetime, it feels like.
I know. Like,
And while I'm looking that up, she's fighting a debut in Harley Hudson, who just recently won the TNA Gut Check Championship tournament. So
yeah.
she's going straight to TNA. So it'd be nice to pick up a title on the way up there, I assume.
Yeah, it'd be nice
Um,
to take it over there, wouldn't it?
no, definitely. So Lana's had it for 662 days. Fair enough. So that is a decent title run. We joked originally when we announced that, probably like the first time, she only defended it once. She's defended it a few times since then, due to
Yeah.
COVID and stuff like that. Tail of tape for this though, Lana defeated Elena Blue at the last event, the main show. Harley Hudson's debut, and they're 1-1 in singles that I could find. So it's very even. How do you think this is going to go?
I feel Harley Hudson's taking this.
You do? You think she's going to come in and spoil it for Alana straight away?
I just feel like part of me saying like Lana's definitely got this, but I don't know. I just feel Harley Hudson's been on such a roll,
Mm.
especially ever since winning Gut Check. She's had the snowball effect where she's just gone getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think this might be the next sort of snowball effect, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like this might be just an addition just to keep pushing her. Like because she's put it simply, like obviously she is, but she's an amazing talent, amazing wrestler. So it's just one of those things where, sorry, mate, dog.
Yeah, no worries.
Sorry about
No, no.
that. But I just don't. I've just got to go with this, mate. I just feel like she's too much for Lana at this stage.
Really? Big match Lana, you don't think's gonna take it again? I feel like
I'm sure
Lana.
she'll kick the shit out of me for saying that.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. To be fair, she's a mean person. As I said,
yeah,
like she knocked a pint out of my hand over my time I was there, so that was great. But yeah, Lana, I feel like might have it just for the essence that she seems to know how to win when it comes to the Kamikaze Pro title.
Mhm.
But it is going to be a banger of a match. And it would be cool if, like, it sounds mental, it'd be cool if Harley won it because she'd turn up on TNA with the Kamikaze title, and that would be good for Kamikaze.
Free publicity, isn't it?
Yeah, so out of that spot, I'm going to go with Harley. That'd be nice for everyone if she turns up with the title and Kamikaze. But yeah, they're 1-1, so they're very even.
Yeah,
The only thing I can probably go with, I'd probably go Lana just for championship advantage, champions advantage kind of thing. And she's not afraid to cheat,
yeah.
which really works.
The only way I can see her winning is if she cheats.
And she will.
Like, well, of course she will. Like it's Lana.
Yeah, and I'm all for it. But yeah, every match on this card so far has been each one's got like a match of the night contender. There probably are more matches to announce, but like I can't wait that long to preview this because I'll be previewing on the day we're actually there. And then finally, we've got the main event before we actually get to your matchup. We've got Man Like the Reese, the Kamikaze Pro champion, and George Lydon, the Kamikaze Pro Live champion, as of this recording, versus Sunshine Machine, the Kamikaze Pro Tag Team Champions. So Taylor type kind of thing for that. Lydon won the Rumble. He's going to be fighting Man Like the Reese at the next show after this, I believe it should be. Man Like the Reese won the Midlands Derby, they called it, him versus Amari. Sunshine Machine defeated CPF as the cheeky little buggers pulled out. And the only thing we can go from this, because Man Like the Reese and George Lydon are not really a tag team, so Sunshine Machine are more used to fighting Man Like the Reese in a 1-2-1 / boisterous behaviour kind of tag team. So this is
Yep.
completely new to them. How do you think this one's going to go?
I do think Sunshine Machine's taking it.
Mm.
Like, not from any detractors from Man Like the Reese or George Lydon, literally just from chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, Man Like the Reese is extremely experienced when it comes to tag team wrestling. Like you said, with boisterous behaviour, 0-1-2-1.
Yeah.
I mean, George Lydon himself, like, he's had quite a few tag teams in the past as well. But just because you've had tag team experience does not mean that you don't mold well with everyone. Like, and especially with the conflicting interests of George is coming for that title
Yeah.
in a couple of months' time, like that might just play into it a little bit. So with all that, all the distractions we've said for Man Like the Reese and George Lydon, Sunshine Machine just don't have. Like,
Yeah.
they've got all the advantages. So I just don't see a situation where Sunshine Machine won't win this one.
Yeah, especially because history tells you when you throw two people together that are going to be fighting for a title at some point, it never works. It's
Never.
always ego gets involved,
Mhm.
and they're getting to a point. Like Man Like Doris knows he's good, and George Lydon knows they're good, and they're probably going to try and show off in front of each other, and it's probably going to end in a combustion,
Mm.
which is good for you. Which we'll get to that point. But also, Sunshine Machine might have to focus as well because Charles Crowley's on the card, and TK talked a lot of crap about Charles after his match, and then they replied, and there was windy conditions, and that video was shocking. If anyone goes to watch the Charles Crowley Alexis Falcon, the reason they weren't there, that video's awful but great at the same time.
It was interesting.
Yeah, windy conditions. That's all I can say. But yeah, Sunshine Machine I can't look past because they are the experienced tag team.
Yeah.
There's no chemistry issues as you said, and I just can't. Yeah, I can't look past them. Is it for the title this matchup? I don't think
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
for the
It
titles.
is.
Yeah.
Good grief. The last time that happened in Kamikaze, if I remember, it was I can't remember who the champions were, but it was Cage Jutler and Clint Margera won the titles. So I say the experience is not there, but it happens in Kamikaze.
I mean,
Um, that might have swayed me slightly.
I did
That's
not
going to be
know that.
mental. Yeah, and that was ages ago. That was like when Clint was
Yeah.
like in his full-on total reign of dreams, kind of for years. Like he had it for like 2 years. I'm sure that was the
Mm.
last time it's ever like actually they've fully had it. Just gonna have a quick Scooby Doo at this because I'm nosy. Um, I should have probably researched this prior to this, but I've already wasted my time now. So let's have a look. Yeah, Clint Margera versus Cage Jutler. Yeah, they held it for they beat Star Talent. That's a throwback and a half, Jack Stars. But yeah, no, Sunshine Machine have got it. I don't think it's going to happen again after getting all to that.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to a match that you obviously have vast interest in because you're in it. So it's going to be yourself versus Robbie X, Mr. Kamikaze. So your last time out, obviously we've already mentioned it. You didn't have a great time, but it was a scramble match, so it's not your fault. This is your first singles match on the main show, isn't it? I believe.
Yeah. First one.
And Robbie X's last match on the main show was against Edgar Adams. So it's a weird kind of link towards that. I wonder how you think this is going to go.
I'm trying to act confident, but like in my mind, like I think he's obviously the king of the cruiserweights.
100%, yeah.
He's the speed star. He's the best cruiserweight in the world. At least you can make a comment for whoever, but in my opinion, Robbie X is the best cruiserweight in the world.
Yeah.
And obviously, for me, this is so far the biggest match I've ever had. Like, so there's a lot of pressure to show up. In my mind, I just need to show him that I'm not to be underestimated.
Yeah.
Like, I can keep up.
Yeah.
And
It's going to be. It's it's going to be a tough task for you. I'll be honest. Like it's going to like because he's the first ever Grand Slam. I think he's the only Grand Slam champion in
He's
Kamikaze
the
as
only
well.
Grand Slam, yeah.
So yeah, you're like you've been thrown in the fire a bit for your first singles match on a main show.
I've been thrown in the inferno. Forget the fire. Like, like the moment I saw it, like I found out when everyone else found out. Like I don't get
That's
prior
good for you,
warning
isn't it?
until it's
Yeah.
announced. So I think it was like what was it, 8 p.m. on like
Hmm.
whatever night it was or something. I weren't at the dojo that night, but as soon as I saw it, I just went ah shit, and I just started doing burpees. Like because I had,
And
because I was
haven't
like
stopped
I
since.
need to up the cardio. Nah, but I've changed like since the announcement. I've changed my diet. I've changed my gym schedule. I've changed the way I train. I've been focusing more on longevity. Like the last since January, I
Hmm.
started focusing on just putting a bit more weight on and putting a bit more power into my moves. And obviously, my endurance went downhill because of that.
Hmm.
And a few matches I wrestled since the start of the year as well. I did notice, like, even though I got stronger, I was losing steam a little bit faster. So the moment this came on, it was like, okay, no, you can't be having that where your endurance is going down. So I was getting on the assault bikes. I was doing burpees, moving more, eating less, whilst still trying to maintain the power that I gained. So this one will be interesting to me to see if, like, the physical side of things I've maintained. Because, funnily enough, I know this might be arrogant of me to say, but in terms of the speed side and the acrobatic side, and even just the wrestling, I think I can keep up.
Hmm.
Maybe not outdo him because he's Robbie X.
Yeah.
Like he's Robbie X. Maybe not outdo him, but I think I can keep up with him if the work I've put in has been decent work. But we'll find out. We'll
Yeah.
find out this Friday.
And you're saying your endurance, you defeat 3 men in one night, so the endurance is there. Obviously that was prior
Did you
to
see me
January.
afterwards?
Yeah, but you know, it's still 3 men. I don't, it doesn't matter. Look, this match is, but then it's Robbie X. It might be like throwing 3 men. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously he's got the experience side. You're both athletic as fuck. Robbie is quick. But he's not like spell. I think like when Edgar fought him, Edgar was the quicker guy because Edgar's just sillily quick. But the athleticism was on Robbie's side, whereas I think you're really ridiculously athletic. I'm trying to build it
Thank
up
you.
for me to go. Yes, you've got it, Nate. But
You just can't do it, can you?
no, he's Mr. Kamikaze. I'm gonna go with a nice draw. That's they do 60-minute time limits to
Yeah.
Kamikaze.
I'll give you that tenner that I promised you in a few hours.
But yeah, it's going to be a very, very tough task. But it'll
Yeah.
probably be the one of the biggest wins of your career if you beat Robbie X. Um,
If I beat Robbie X, I'm not even going to make a bet about it. I will just literally, I'll probably cry in the ring if I beat Robbie X. Like, I
and
mean,
if you want to see Nate Reilly cry in the middle of the ring, Friday, April 19th, Kamikaze Pro Dojo. Tickets are still on sale. Doors start at 7 p.m. It'll be crying by 8 p.m. It's going to be wonderful. Either way, you might be crying. He might have beat you really badly, and it might be that, or you might have beat him really badly.
maybe both. Like,
Also, you've got to think you've got a match the next night, so you might have to take it easier. But the second night might be a bit more precious to you.
oh, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I'm just adding stuff onto here now. But yep,
Yeah, we're
so
building up to that.
Sky's the limit 9. Tickets are still on sale, as I said, Friday, April 19th. But we're going to move on to Saturday, April 20th, for Kamikaze Pro Live 44, I believe, which is the 10th anniversary show. So you're going from fighting Robbie X to having a title match, which we'll be discussing right at the end, which actually will be the main event. So we'll be able to get it in proper order. But first up, we had a match that was announced literally probably about 2 hours ago, so I've not properly researched this. We've got, I nearly said House of Horror again, like I said to you, Brian. House of Heritage, which is Will Stevens and Kieran McQueen versus The Future is Meow. I wonder who's in this team. So we got Zach Walker and Sonny Noss. So, firstly, we ask every guest, is Sonny Noss a cat?
Yes.
He is a cat. Okay, you're very definitive. Alex Connors is not definitive on this answer. He's had laboratories check it and everything like that, and he's just annoyed about it. He's not a cat.
He is not a cat.
No. So for this kind of thing, as I said, I haven't got a tail of the tape for things, so I didn't have time to research this. So both teams are actually have tagged quite a bit. So Sonny Nos and Zach Walker have been tagging outside of Kamikaze for DCW, as you mentioned to me prior. And House of Heritage, Will Stevens, Kieran McQueen have been tagging for years. People that like have Beyond the Wall, Brew World Order, and stuff like that. How do you think this one's going to go?
Oh, it pains me to say, but I think Zach's going to throw a fit when I say this, but I think House of Heritage has this. Like, but obviously, like you saw as well. I think you did. They beat me and Edgar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Maximus, I should say as well, when we were 0 to Hero. Like when they had Samuel Hughes as well on their side. Like, they are a bit tough, to say the least.
Yeah, experienced.
Kieran, yeah. I mean, did you see how the match finished? Do you remember how it finished when we faced him?
Yeah. There was a lot of. It was just the finish was like a lot of power move. It was a one kind of fun time for you, yeah.
Yeah, I can't say I enjoyed it. Sam giving me that dead eye, Kieran kicking me in the head, and then Steve giving me a pile driver.
Yeah, all in one swift motion as well. It wasn't like you had time to go.
Yeah.
No, you just took it all.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember waking up in the hospital 3 days later. But no, I think looking at that, like, because I've trained with Zach, I've trained with Sonny quite often actually, and I felt what they can do. I know it's training, so they're not really going 100%. But given what I felt of Steve and Kieran in the matches that we've had together, I just don't see him overcoming it. Unfortunately, like not to knock them down, they're still quite early in their careers. Again, like I said earlier, Zach's still figuring out who he is, like as a wrestler, as a person. Sonny as well. I mean, the lad's got 9 lives, so I mean, I'm sure he'll come back from this. Yeah. A lot of twins are coming right now, mate.
As I said, I think it's just the experience side on Kieran, and because they've tagged for years, and Zach and Sonny are very stop-start at the moment. Like Zach obviously had a big tournament, came up short against yourself, but like he hasn't been picking up wins except for that really. Sonny's been very stop-start, not really picking up wins except for people like JC. And House Heritage, except for all the loss they picked up against you two in the tag match, they've really kind of come onto their own, and they're not afraid to shake. So I can't look past House of Heritage.
I agree with everything you've just said.
Unfortunate, but it is what it is. We move on to a match which you're going to have to tell me because I've not seen this person because he's debuting. We've got Alex Connors. He's not debuting. He defeated Sonny Nos. He's just defeating everyone in a 2.0 stance, and that's what he's known for at the moment. And he's facing a debuting Alex Dean. Let people know.
I'm in an R because I feel like they should find out by themselves, like about this particular gentleman. Like, truthfully, because I don't even know myself. Like, like when it's like when everyone who's in the know, they'll understand why. Because like for the lab's been banned from all West Midlands buses.
Just going to bring that up, yeah.
And, like, which gives you an idea. I'm 75% certain a duck will be involved, and I can't explain why I'm 75% certain.
A real duck?
It's wooden or real. I don't know. Like, we've had questions about a wooden one. We've had questions about a real one. Like, he's an anomaly, like a pure enigma. But what I can say is he's really good at wrestling.
Okay.
So he'll be a unique challenge, to say the least.
Okay. Do you think he's got enough to beat Alex Connors, though?
Oh, me, I think everyone's got enough to be Alex Connors.
Wow.
Nah. Like, obviously, Alex is he's obviously got an amazing track record, especially against like the 2.0 guys. Obviously, he's beat me a couple of times actually. He's beat Edgar, uh, and without sounding arrogant, we're the sort of 2.0s that have kind of like done the most. So we've had to go through him to get to where we are now. So anyone who from 2.0 who wants to improve, get better, this is a requirement from them. They've got to get through him. But obviously, the issue is getting through him in one piece,
Yeah.
which is easier said than done.
Because Alex, at the moment, I've noticed in his matches, at the start he's very non-daisical, kind of nonchalant kind of thing, and then he just gets wound up and then just absolutely destroys people at the end.
Yep.
So Alex Dean probably is going to try and get in his head at the start, I'm assuming, judging by what I've seen. He's just got to make sure he kind of keeps up on Alex Connors because it's quite hard to do. I've also heard this match, the winner gets to keep the name Alex. That's what I've heard from this match.
That one's a new one to me.
Yep. Name versus name. First time ever. I'm announcing it. I've got power.
I mean, I don't know if anyone's actually going to change the name of this because, funny enough, I know where Alex Connor's name's come from. I won't say where because it's not my place. I mean, I'm not that much of a bad guy about it, but it's a very personal thing to him. And then Alex Dean is like same thing. I can't. Again, I'm not going to reveal where their names actually comes from and all that, but they are two very personal things. So anyone who loses that name on either end is going to be heartbroken.
Yeah, it'd be very
Saying
gutting
it.
if you've debuted and you've got to change your name straight away. Yeah.
Exactly.
I can't look past Alex Connors though. I'll be honest. All because I
So,
don't know Alex Dean. Like I'm not aware of him, so I have to go with what I know.
I'm gonna wait to see if I can figure out if the duck is alive or a wooden, and then
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Alex has not got a good track. Alex, they're both called Alex. Connors has not got a track record of animals either. Just ask Sonny. But we will move on. We've got Samuel Hughes versus Coach Mahon. So Samuel Hughes last time out lost to Nate Reilly. Coach Mahon lost to Nate, and then Lloyden also lost. That was it. Lloyden beat him as well. I
Yep.
completely forgot about that match.
No, you can mention mine. It's
That
all
was it. Was the opposite way around. You beat him, but you last time out, Coach Mahon lost to you. That was it, and it was in
yeah.
the tournament. That makes more sense to me. Samuel was defeated by George. First time singles between both of them. The major thing in this match, though, is the House of Heritage kind of style. But Coach Mahon may have Ronnie G with him. How do you think this is going to go?
I think it's got to start with whether or not coach gives him an detention. Because what we've seen about Sam is he might be a rascal, but he's got a temper.
Angry Ginger.
So, yeah, exactly. So the whole thing. So, if he's able to play those mind games with those detention slips, and he gets in Sam's head, I reckon coach has it. But obviously, on the other way around, if Sam is able to move past it and then use the House of Heritage, even then, like, I think he's got us in the bag.
Yeah, Sam, as you mentioned, it's quite easy. It sounds bad to say, but it's quite easy to get under Sam's skin. Like he gets wound up so quickly by obviously the crowd calling Fireman Sam. Anyone can wind him up. So someone gives him a detention slip, he's probably going to lose his mind. It's going to be a close run thing, which sounds because Sam's the more experienced person, but Coach has kind of got into his own. Obviously, he lost to yourself, but he was slightly unlucky because Laurie Neal decided to poke him in the eye. I don't know what happened
we
there.
don't talk about that.
No. But he's getting there, Coach, and I feel like this is the first time I'm probably going to go with the underdog in Coach. I feel like if he can get behind Sam, get in his head, Sam might lose it.
Like, I will say this about coach. Like, when we faced off, like, we had a conversation afterwards about how it went, and he mentioned that a few people have come up to him saying that's the best he'd ever moved.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a match, that's the best. He looked smooth, he looked fluid. And I know in the past that was something he did struggle with. So I don't think, especially seeing him in the dojo now the last couple of months, I don't think we can judge him based off his prior performances because he's improved since then and he's done quite well. So, because if you told me like about 2 or 3 months ago about this, I would have gone with Sam all the way.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm on the fence.
Yeah, it's the same with anyone that's coming out. Obviously, look, he's only been wrestling since October, so the more matches you have, the better you're going to get.
Yep.
Whereas Sam has been around for a while, so he's still trying to find himself, which sounds weird, but he's kind of found himself with the House of Heritage, and this probably is the best Sam views.
Yep.
Looking man's stacked. But yeah, I'd probably go with Coach. I'm gonna. Yeah, underdog it. I'm going to go with Coach Mahan, which I don't normally do. I just feel like this is his moment to kind of prove himself. And it'll be a great win for him. But yeah, there's only one way to find out and check it out on the Saturday when you go live, and it is an earlier start as well, which we'll bring up, which I completely didn't register. I was going to turn up at 7.
You and me both. I only got told last night.
Yeah, I'm just so used to it starting at 7. Moving on though, we've got Edgar Adams versus Luke Douglas. So Edgar's last time out on the live show, he beat JC, and then he was defeated by yourself. It seems like a tale of a tape where everyone you've defeated everyone going down here, which is nice for you.
I know it's a change of pace, isn't it?
So he beat JC, but JC obviously afterwards beat the living hell out of him. And then you took no prisoners in your match, which you wanted to win a trophy, so you were going to.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I was very nice during the match. I was lovely.
I'm sure there's an image and one on you ripping a bandage up, but we'll go past that. And
No
Luke Douglas last time out defeated Blake Violet. And these two have faced each other before, and Luke Douglas is 1-0 up, but obviously that was a very young and new to the game kind of Edgar Adams. Where do you see this going this time around? Shock.
Edgar. Like, do you need to ask? But I say that not obviously because me and him are close, but I say that because when Luke faced him last time, obviously that was him debuting. He was still just figuring out. Everyone knows when you debut, like you don't know what the hell you're doing. But this is a guy he's wrestled up and down the country now. He's wrestled for some very big promotions now.
Yeah.
He's had title shots. He's wrestled Robbie X. He's wrestling Chris Ridgway, Richard Holiday, George Lydon. He's wrestled CJ Rollins. I was about to say Seth Rollins.
He's done well with his, he's done well there.
So he's had a lot more experience with some very big names. Not just in the local scene, in the national scene and the international scene. So if Luke is treating him like he's still that trainee, I actually think it will be a squash match. What did he say? But in this moment, like, part of me's kind of like, within the first minute, Luke is going to realize his mistake. And if he's able to hold on past that first minute, I still see Edgar going over. But I just think he has it.
Better hope that Luke doesn't watch his prior saying it's going to be a squash match. That might be your downside towards Edgar. Yeah,
the thing is, like, when I first debuted, because I know he doesn't. I don't think he has done this to anyone else. When I first debuted, he made it very clear that he was going to chop the living hell out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that would happen often, like I'd walk in to the dojo, and he'd just be chopping the ring post. And I've got a feeling that when I walk in on Friday and Saturday, he's just going to be chopping at the ring post, glaring at me. So this will be interesting.
It's gonna be good though. Obviously, you said like Edgar's in a different place now. He's very much more experienced than he was. Luke, obviously, is still Luke. As a man that's not biased on this channel at any point, I'm gonna go with Luke Douglas. It's gonna be a difficult match though. It's just dependent if Luke can get him down, because obviously Edgar the speed kind of thing. I think Luke's obviously he knows he's not going to outquick Edgar. No one's pretty much going to get there now. And then Edgar's added a bit more to his bow. It's just about grounding and getting him down, and it also depends what Luke turns up. Like,
I don't even think, like, this is just me. I don't even think it's about Luke getting him down because I know I've just gone that tirade, but if I'm being honest about Luke, is he's got a mind that is very unique when it comes to wrestling. Like, he's, like, obviously Edgar's faster, but Luke's, the way he thinks and the way he attacks his opponent is on a different level. Like, to a degree, I don't think I've actually faced anyone since I've debuted against Luke. I actually don't think I've faced anyone else who's on the same wavelength as Luke since. So that kind of thing there with Luke is just going to be so tough to overcome. It doesn't matter what stage of experience you have. Like, it's such a roadblock for Edgar to face. But can he jump over the roadblock is the question.
yeah, and I feel like it said it's not going to be as cut as that. Yeah, like Edgar can do it, and it's going to be very good. I'm just going to. We know I'm going with Luke. Let's move on.
Oh yeah,
non-biased channel. Sponsored by so we've got next up. We've got Ronnie G, who's going to be facing Chantel Jordan. So Ronnie lost out to Zach Walker in the Rise of the Emperor Championship. Chantel defeated Zach Walker. I just realised, last time out when she was out last in Kamikaze Pro Live. First time singles between them both. Like I would probably go straight away. Look, because we discussed it's hard to look past Chantel in any match. It's kind of like I feel like we should move on. No, we should, no, like Ronnie has improved vastly. His moveset's getting better and better every time out. He's still doing dabs and stuff like that because he loves it, but he's not as focused on getting the crowd behind him now. He actually is trying to out wrestle his opponents. But Chantel Jordan is just a different beast of a person.
Like, you don't need to focus on getting the crowd behind you when they already are behind you.
Yeah. And I feel like it's a worry that he still tries to get people behind him, even though they are just fully behind him.
It might be that, mate. It might be the fact that he's obviously trying to build his confidence still when it comes to it, when he doesn't need to. Like, we hear him talk all the time. Like, he does sometimes doubt how good he is. Like, especially in the dojo, the joke before he was debuting, the joke was always like, "Oh, he's secretly the best wrestler." Like, and as it got on, it got to the point where we were going like, "He's not even secretly the best wrestler now; he just is." Like, so he's convinced us. He just needs to convince himself.
Yeah, it is all confidence.
Yeah.
But it's Chantel Jordan. And she didn't take nicely to losing. And
she takes no prisoners.
It depends on what the matchup. Like, if she somehow loses the Mochizuki, she might just take it all out on Ronnie G, which I'm hoping Ronnie G's hoping that Chantel Jordan wins that match. Because she will just kick the crap out of him if she loses against Mochizuki, I feel like.
I think even if she wins, she's still going to kick the crap out of him.
Yeah. Also, Ronnie probably needs to focus at this time and not calling out his moves. That might be a downfall against like shouting Claymore or like Rob Bottom against someone like Chantel Jordan.
Yeah, he loves his shouting out his people's elbows.
Yeah.
Like Chantel's not the kind of wrestler you can do that with.
No. Like the good old brainbuster shout, it's not going to work out well. So I'm assuming you're going Chantel Jordan on this.
Oh, I've got to go Chantel Jordan on this one.
Like I said, it's not as squash worthy as this sounds. Like Ronnie will put off a great fight, but Chantel Jordan is obviously incredible.
Ronnie's got a win over me.
Yeah.
Like Ronnie's beat me before. Like
beat Alex.
And watching back.
Yeah.
Say again, sorry.
Just beat Alex at
Yeah,
the main show in the dark match. Yeah.
yeah. Like, and looking back at the match I had with him, like, I forget how he finished it with Alex Connors. Like, sorry for my ignorance, but he beat me because when I tried to set him up for a second pump-handed black hole slam, which he silly kicked out of, which I can't believe the first time I hit it, he reversed it into a rock bottom, which
Mm.
I did not see coming. Like, because I was like, he's dead. He's
Yeah.
dead. Like, there's no way. So if he's able to continue with that resilience, then he stands a good chance. But Chantal Jordan.
Yeah. Like we're going on, like Chantal Jordan is beatable. Edgar Adams but defeated her. It only takes one moment. If Ronnie G can get a roll up or get something out of the way, like
Yeah.
she's undefeated. But if it's like a nice clean cut, no roll up match, Chantal's probably going to win. Sorry for the spoilers.
Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you like this video? There is a button. It's a very sexy button. It says subscribe on it. I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me. Damn fuckers.
But we will move on to the main event. I'd hope it's the main event. We've got George Lydon, the current Kamikaze Pro Live champion, 672 days as of the show, facing Nate Reilly. Rise the Emperor tournament winner. Obviously, that's the reason you got this championship opportunity. You defeated Coach Mahan, Edgar Adams, and Zach Walker in one night. And George,
Long
last
ass
time
time.
out, defeated Samuel Hughes at Live 42. How's this going to go? How do you think it's going to go? Obviously, I'm hoping you want to win, and you're going to say you're going to win, because that would be a very bad hurdle if you say no straight away.
I'm gonna win. Like, I'm speaking. I've been speaking to a lot of guys at the dojo, and they're all saying like this is my moment. This is my time. Obviously, I've got to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
I've earned the opportunity, but I've got to prove that I deserve the title. So I'm just trying to focus on that at the minute because George is obviously like. Funny enough, like some lad told me yesterday, actually, like a guy at the dojo, Brad and Edgar,
Yeah.
were joking about how it's literally the Cody Rhodes story of like I faced him last year, I lost to him, and now we come full circle to this year, and you got to finish the story, and I'm like, I'm not exactly Cody Rhodes, bro, but in my mind, that's it. Like I didn't have the best year, as everyone knew. Like I lost more than I won. Like I think my first win was against Samuel Hughes, December just gone. And now I'm being shoved. Well, I'm not going to say being shoved. I've clawed my way into a position where I'm back challenging them again after beating 3 people in one night. So now it's transferring that and showing that I do deserve that title. But the only issue is it's George goddamn Lydon.
Yeah, Chantal's Jordan syndrome, innit?
Yeah. I mean, he's because honestly, like as a wrestler, like I could not admire him more.
Mm.
Like as a wrestler, he is absolutely fantastic. Like he is the best in the dojo. Is what we like. Some people might disagree with me. Some people might say, "Oh, it's Chantal." Some people might say this. My honest opinion, he is the best in the dojo. So this is essentially going to be the hardest night of my life. Not even wrestling career. This is going to be the hardest night of my life. I've got to get in there and not only keep up with him, not only outstrike him, out high fly him, but I've got to beat him.
Yeah.
Which, frankly, like you said,
it's not like you're fighting Robbie X the night before.
I mean, that might complicate things.
But yeah, so the tail of tape kind of thing as well. Obviously, you lost originally to George, but you were very green at that stage. You got the number one contendership. I think you won the Rumble, didn't you?
Yeah.
Whereas this one, you've gone to prove yourself. You beat 3 men in one night, so you deserve to have the opportunity. And I feel like this is a good time to fight George, because he's juggling a lot. Like no excuse for it, but like he's Kamikaze relentless champion as well. He's going up against a man like the Reese, and who knows what's going to happen in that match prior to you fighting him. But the difference in George now, he's suddenly realised a lot more how good he is, and I think he's got a slightly cocky within the ring about it, and I think he can be caught off guard with it. Like he'll just start doing like Jericho poses in the middle of the ring when he's doing a pin, and I feel like that's he's getting there now. Where it's someone. I'll be honest, I'm backing you. I'm going to be honest. I feel like is your this wasn't really like this is not like guest mentality. But I feel like this is the time that someone can defeat George because he's got so much going on, and I feel like this is his. It sounds weird to say that like this is like the weak time for George, but like because 3 championships is not really weak, but he's juggling a lot, and who knows, he might get absolutely battered in the Sunshine Machine match. Who knows?
He probably is going to get battered, like not on a bad way or nothing like that, but either way with Sunshine Machine, it's going to be a hard match. Like it doesn't matter who you are, it's going to be a hard goddamn match. So he's obviously going to come out of that bruised and battered, but I think it's also I'm going to come out bruised and battered. So who's in the better condition the next day, and who's ready to essentially throw down everything they have left for that title? Like how much do you want it? Which, funny enough, I actually think that is where I take the edge. Because, I mean, he might be too young to die, but that just tells me that he's not prepared to die. And I'm out here saying I'm prepared to die for that title. You're going to have to drag me out of that place in a goddamn coffin if you think I'm losing that match. But he's probably going to put me in that goddamn coffin.
Come on, the confidence was there for a second. But I feel like you've got more of an edge now as well. Like you said, like if there's something you were fighting for, that Rise of the Emperor Championship, Edgar, like he was slightly injured. You didn't throw him away from like you wanted to win that. I mean, it is what it is. And I feel like if George comes in with slight injury, you're not going to go away from targeting him. You've got to be ruthless. Like look at Coach, accidental thumb to the eye. You won't just go, oh, I'll wait till you to recover. I'm going to win this match. It's wrestling.
When you put into the account that I spent the better part of a year losing my matches, you kind of got to take your opportunities when you come. And if you lay out an opportunity like that, I've got to take it. Like it's unfortunate with Coach, for example. Like obviously you got poked in the eyes, but I didn't poke him in the eyes.
Yeah.
Same with Edgar. Like we've spoken it out, we've talked it through. He's worded the same to me. He admitted he worded the same. It was if you're in at the start of the match, if you notice your opponent started to limp on their left ankle because they twisted it doing a moonsault, you'd target the ankle.
Yeah.
I noticed he had a problem with his ribs, and I went for the ribs. Of course I would. Same with Zach Walker. I like the kid, but he was just in the way. It's just in the way, so it's nothing personal against him. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
You did tell a crowd member you were going to fucking kill him, if I remember that. So it was in the way, and there's also I'm going to murder. But either way, I'm going to back you, and I feel like you're backing you, I hope you're backing you. But it's going to be a great 10th anniversary show. And I feel like there's more to be announced because JC's on the poster and he's going to get annoyed that I haven't previewed his match again and we forgot about him. I haven't forgot about him. You don't have a match booked yet. Leave me alone.
Is he in your DMs?
Yeah, it's last time out, basically. We did the preview and then his match got announced the next day. And he was like, you forgot about me? And I went, I've already recorded the video. Leave me alone. And it's happened. It's going to happen again. I've just realised. Oh, God. Anyway, Kamikaze Pro Live 44 to top off a great weekend, 10th anniversary, Saturday, April 20th. Doors open at 4, so it's going to start at 5. Tickets are still on sale. You can pick them up at the door from Charlotte, normally is on the door. So as usual, like and subscribe. We're subscription-wise, nearly 600 subscribers. We went up like 400 subscribers in a month, which is insane. So we're doing pretty well here. And check out our previous reviews with Alex and etc. like that. Is there anything else you'd like to bring up before we let go?
And new Pro Live Champion.
Yeah, I agree so much. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.
Right, see you later.
Secrets of